I want to pick up this conversation about what we can expect from a conference-only schedule. And while I don't think this is going to do anything for our strength of schedule arguments, there are some really interesting aspects to it. Right now, you're not going to convince me that less football is better for the sport, because there's this thought that losing the FCS pay games is actually a good thing, and that college football fans will wonder, where the hell did these games, why did they matter in the first place? To which I'm going, that's less football. I'm not a fan of less football. I'm the guy who watched Eastern Washington play Akron. That was a one-win team versus a winless team on a Tuesday night at 6 o'clock in November, because I'm that guy. I love football. I want to see football played as much as possible at every level. I also love the idea of anybody can get it. Okay? And this is core to my belief, right? It does not matter who you are or what you've done. Nobody owes you a thing. And if somebody wants to line up and smack it, then let's go. That means that Alabama and the Citadel need to go. And for a moment there, you'll remember it was 14-7. Kind of like TU and Oklahoma in 2008. Went into halftime. Oklahoma's up 14-7. I'm on the sideline throwing white girls in the air. One of the white girls turned to me and says, "Yo, RJ, I think we might win this." I said, "Nah, man, all you did was just piss them off." That's all I did. And then you look at the scoreboard. But that's what's fun about it. Because just because the curtain falls does not mean it's not a great play. Right? We do love a good story. And a good story is a Missouri State coming down to Oklahoma to give the Sooners every bit of what they don't want. Just like Army a couple of years ago, when a bunch of cadets said, "Why not? We can whoop them." And they took it into double overtime. And Oklahoma barely pulls out a 28-21 victory. I remember because my parents are on my couch in my tiny apartment, you know, when we scrunched together watching this game, and we are losing our minds, right? Because that game was so good. It doesn't matter that Army lost it. We remember it because it was that good. Just like we remember Donovan McNabb blowing chunks at Syracuse. These can only happen if we play more games, right? So let's not act like the FCS games don't matter from the entertainment standpoint. And let's all respect the idea of anybody that wants to play can play. Now, that said, your strength of schedule is going to be reduced to whatever your conference is, right? So I feel bad for Central Florida, for even Tulsa for that matter, because if Central Florida runs the table in a group of 5, you know, only schedule, nobody cares. Like, I'm going to care. They're going to care. And one of the other parts about this is we could go back to like 2004 with this and say, we could have 3 national champions this year. Because you get 4 teams in the college football playoff, right? Then you get your group of 5 team that might have gone undefeated. But remember, there are 5 conferences in the group of 5. So imagine Conference USA, Sun Belt, WAC, Mountain West, the American, all have a conference champion who's undefeated. And then you have 5, autonomous 5 conference champions who are undefeated. That means you got 10 undefeated conference champs and 4 spots for them. Yo. So you could actually see 6 teams claim a legitimate national championship. And that is going to be absolute chaos. And the reason why I've been telling y'all from jump, all I want is a 16-team playoff. That means everybody that should get in does get in. And that North Texas can catch these hands from Alabama. That Miami of Ohio can catch these hands from Clemson. That Fresno State can catch this L from Oklahoma. And then we don't have to talk about whether or not your team is a national champ or not. We would have shown. Not unlike the Pioneer League, where San Diego destroys everybody in that league. They get the automatic bid to the FCS, and then they get destroyed by the better teams in the FCS. And it's the same in the FCS. And it's one of the reasons I've been paying such great attention to it. It's North Dakota State's world. We all live in it. right? Kind of like Alabama's world. We all live in it. But James Madison is like the Clemson of there, where they're going to get there and they're going to give them a run for their money. Outside of that, you're not really talking about a whole bunch of other teams you expect to win a national championship. But that doesn't prevent them from having 24 teams in the playoff and giving automatic bids to winners. It's just not going to do it. However, you want to slice it up. You are quite un-American in your thinking of not wanting to have an expanded playoff. Because this is supposed to be, like the idea, the dream, the lie, is that everybody gets the same chance to do everything. Separate but equal, Jim Crow laws, redlining, we can keep going about the civil aspects of that, but that's the idea. That's what was written down by a bunch of white guys with feathers. And now that we got a bunch of white guys in suits, I'm going, wait, we have an opportunity here. You're going to see how bad this conference-only schedule thing is going to mess us up. And only the old money, only the people making lots of money are going to be like, yeah, I like it that way. Because you're kind of insured, right? You don't want to deal with the opportunity of having a Boise State show up at the Fiesta Bowl to embarrass you. That's just Oklahoma, apparently. You know? Never mind that Oklahoma got UConn in the Fiesta Bowl and embarrassed the hell out of them. Nobody cares. Nobody remembers because you're supposed to win. If you get an Ohio State, you get an Oregon, you get a Clemson, you get an Alabama in the college football playoff, cool. I'll watch it. We're all going to watch it. But if you got a North Texas in there, if you got a Southern Methodist, if you got a Houston, if you got a New Mexico State, God bless them. We're all going to watch the hell out of that too. Because we love a good story. We absolutely, positively love, I love telling stories. That's why I got into this stuff, man. So why are we rooting against the good story here? Because, you know, I'm going to talk about the pandemic. I'm going to talk about why it's probably a bad idea to play college football. But as long as they're going to play it, I'm also in this real terrible sports broadcaster paradox, where it seems the best thing for me to want is also the thing that is threatening my very existence in my profession. And we're all up against it. It's a weird place to be. And while we are all contemplating the worst parts of this thing, why aren't we contemplating how to make it better? I don't get it. I would love to see the SEC have to play each team in the league every year. And they would be like, well, then we'd only have no non-conference games. So like maybe that's as it should be. Maybe y'all are the only team that don't need to schedule non-conference because we all acknowledge how good y'all are. You know, like, does it do Clemson any good to run through the ACC? I mean, not really, because that doesn't necessarily prepare them for playing the likes of Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, or Ohio State. Nah, they're going to be who they're going to be. And as long as they're going to be who they're going to be, why not just have the conference-only schedules, have a conference champion, and then throw everybody into the playoff, and then those become your non-conference games, except they mean everything, as opposed to kind of mean something. Because there's a group of people, I assure you, that would have watched the winner of Ohio State and Oregon and put that person in the college football playoff and looked at the other team and be like, I don't know, they were right there, let's do it again. Nah, hell with that. Just let the Pac-12 eat each other alive, let the Big Ten eat each other alive, and then throw them all in the playoff. And then let it be it. That be it. If you want to keep your Popeyes Bahama Bowl, cool, make it a part of the playoff schedule. I'm here for this. But I'm also here for trying to give everybody the same opportunity to be great. When did that become a crime?